Okay.
Hello, James.
How's that, are you?
I'm exceptionally well. How are you?
I've been better. I've got a bit of something up.
Better.
Yeah, I picked up something last week and it's still lingering. But we'll get it out of our system hopefully soon. So,
Hello, everybody.
that is the lovely Melanie from the other group. So we're all joining up for a little bit, so we can.
So excited to meet your other team here.
Yeah, these are the ones that made me change the rules. They changed it on day one because none of them listened and did what I said. So we changed all the rules.
Speaking about
cool.
my group or the other group?
No, the other group. Well, by the time we got to your group, they'd already reset the rules. So you just fell in. You didn't even know that.
No, I didn't know that.
That's kind of funny. How's it, everybody?
Good in yourself?
Not too bad, thanks. How has it been going with you guys with all your LinkedIn networking and things? I want to get all the feedback, see where you guys are, what's happened, and if you guys have stalled or you stuck or something, then we need to get you moving forward so we can get you guys some clients. So let's have a look. So Anita, you're first. That's just how it is on my screen. So yeah, far away. Tell us what's up. What's been happening since we last spoke?
It's been going not too badly. I mean, I haven't been like super consistent with sending out, even though I have like automation. But it's not bad. So before I had like these 2 messages that I used to send out, and now I've changed it to like your format with the 3 personal things in the thank you message, and that is like has been getting like a few more responses than like the previous time that when I was doing without it. But what's also helped is like the content that I'm posting. So some of that's also like just for everyone, like content is really good. And I had like 1 post last week that I posted and like 3 people messaged me afterwards. So it just
that's cool.
It's like together they like work really well. So that's just, yeah. So from having like nothing last year, like not much last year, to like being really busy with sending people proposals and stuff this year has been good.
Okay, so a lot of what you've been doing, I mean, obviously a lot of it is content driven, but in terms of
not a lot, I won't lie to you, James. I've been putting out like 1 post a week, but I've been thinking like properly about the post, not like before I was just like, let me talk about budgets or let me talk about cash flow. So there's like real thought behind the post. It's like 1, maybe 2 posts a week. So yeah, it's not a lot of content.
So based on a lot of that work that we did up front, looking at the avatar, so just getting a little bit more dialed in and focused.
Yeah, and being focused and being strategic about it, and like my profile's not like perfect, but I think it's much better than it was before. But I mean, I'm just one person, so I can't handle like 5 clients at one time, right? So I've just been doing it like 3 times a week, like sending out connection requests, like in batches. But I do connect.
So how many meetings have you been setting up? So if you had to say on a weekly basis, how many meetings are you getting at the moment?
I get at least like 2 or 3 requests every week, but from LinkedIn, I would say like one meeting so far. But I mean, considering I've only been just doing this for like 3 weeks now, consistently, so that's more than it was before. I would say it's a win.
It's a big one. No, it's 100%. Funny enough, you mentioned content. I started posting this week. I put it off for like ever because of consistency. And I'm looking at you, Christelle, as I'm about to say this. Was trying to work out how to create better images. Oh my God, I suck. Like if you look at my images, they're horrendous. One of them you'll recognize, but I sort of look at what everyone else is doing, and I'm like, I need to get someone that knows what they're doing to help me with this. So it's all very well to post, but people are going to vomit all over my images. The pick me, yeah. We'll talk about it. So yeah, interesting. So in fact, I think it was today's post where I was sort of talking about this idea with content and whether you're sort of expecting the content to drive traffic. Well, I don't think so. I think it's the other way around. Because for most of us, we're probably not going to be, because we just don't have the time to be those big time influencers. And so it's when we do the outreach that we're doing that people come to our LinkedIn profiles. The people that have got some sort of interest will actually go in and have a look at the content you're posting, and if that content aligns with your promise that you've made and the rest of your profile, and sometimes this takes a while. That's when you start to get the inbound. So I'm fully aware that this is a long-term process. I've committed to try to post every day, so I built an AI system that helps at least with ideation for that, and the interesting thing with that is it's kind of forced me to look at what other people are doing, partly to see what they're doing and to get better and to find ideas. I've got this Google sheet that I've opened with posting ideas. I've actually got more than I know what to do with.
I know, I have so many
it's
ideas. Like I don't know where to
ho-
even start.
holy crap. No, it's better to have more ideas than less. Like the first week I was really struggling. What am I going to do? And then I said, okay, stop your crap. Just go do some stuff. And then I started, and next thing I know, I've got lots of ideas. So I'm quite looking forward to that. As I say, I know it'll be a while, but you'll find for us, a lot of us, we won't necessarily get a lot of engagement on our posts and things. That doesn't mean people are not looking. It just means they're not commenting, etc. But you'll see, like Pranitha was saying, she's been doing a little bit. She's starting to get a little bit of traction. That'll just grow. You'll be amazed at how many people actually do look at the stuff that we do. So yeah, I would say if you can post, and as you heard from her, like once or twice a week is fine. Okay, just it's good to have something so that when people do go there, that they're convinced that you're the right person for the job. But well done. Just keep that up. Yeah.
So also I want to say that like I've been posting for like 3 years about like budgets and cash flow and all that rubbish shit. But the one that got the most messages was a post about me going to India, and like I failed an exam and stuff. It was a very personal post. So, and all these people that sent me the message was people I'd never heard about before. Like, and I read this somewhere that the people that want to be your client are not liking your posts, they're not commenting on your posts, but they see you showing up every single time talking about your stuff. So you can't just talk about budgets and cash flows and whatever it is you do. It's like showing some sort of personal stuff. So I'm thinking about putting some of that in there, like going forward.
I think maybe sort of like a balance, if you
Not
like.
all, not too much. Otherwise, it's gonna be like your personal soap opera.
No. What I'm saying is, I know like there's some people on this call that definitely don't want to post that stuff, and that's fine. So like a balance would be like if you're talking about let's say a budget, instead of just doing the bland or boring stuff, is talk about an experience you had with a client who didn't have a budget, and then you did, and this amazing thing happened. So there now you're starting to weave in personal stories, so people
Yeah, that also works. Yeah.
that I think works quite well. So I'm trying to do a lot of that. I'm not doing any other personal stuff at the moment. I will, but right now I'm just trying to get into it, and I've got so much stuff to say. It's just like it seems like I'll be here forever. But as I say, it's better to have more than less. And then I think in the beginning it's just a case of putting some stuff out there, and we'll see what resonates, and then we'll hone in on it a little bit later on. but it's it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Funny enough, I'm spending quite a bit of time at the moment looking at what other people are doing in the realm of direct messaging. It's quite interesting because I think there's a lot of real scope for growth, and I think that particularly for those of us that have got reasonable size networks, there's already a network that's built, which is really easy for you to start communicating with, and it's kind of just getting over that. I don't know, for a lot of people, that's not me, but I know a lot of other people, is that fear of starting a conversation. What do I say? I don't want to feel icky or like cringy or whatever. It's generally not actually as hard as you might think, and sometimes you can also be relatively direct, right? With that stuff. So you know, once you've connected with people, you know, when I say relatively direct, if you're going onto somebody's profile and you see what they do, so I might say, hey, Benita, I see you're an accountant in South Africa. How's it going? How's business? You know, what's going on in the accounting space? I just, that's just the start of a conversation, right? And then you might come back and you'll say, oh, it's good, bad, or indifferent, or whatever. And then I'll just continue the conversation as if I had met you for the first time and we were chatting and just probing. And at some point, I'd probably try to pivot it to, you know, so what type of clients do you work with, right? And it's just a natural conversation, right? So long before I'm trying to sell you anything, and then you know you'll tell me and I'll probe a little bit more. So how do you actually go about getting clients? And now at the time now it starts to make sense. Or I'll just ask you a direct question. So are you actually looking to grow your client base? And you'll tell me yes or no, right? And if it's yes, then I'll steer the conversation. If it's no, then it's no. But I've assessed. I know where it's at, and I know whether I need to continue the conversation or not. But at least we're in conversation. And the reality is you might not be in the market right now, and that's perfectly fine. But that might change. If that changes in 3 or 6 months' time, you'll probably remember the conversation because it's so unusual. People just don't do it. It's like, oh, okay, now I need clients. Let me just go and get my contact James. And so, you know, this stuff builds over time. And in 6 months' time, I might come back to you and say, hey, have you seen this? I've just created this new awesome lead magnet on, you know, on a great DM structure. Is that something that you might be interested in? And then the conversation is back. But now I'm talking to you about DMs and not systems, you know, so something else. And that's the ability that we have, is to create these little, let's just call them lead magnets. For want of a better description, reason to go back and talk to people. And you know, oftentimes all of us, we sell a range of stuff, and we solve a range of problems. And sometimes when we pick one, it's not the problem that resonates with that particular person, but the next thing will. And so it's almost it's like a little fishing expedition where you cast the line, and those that bite, that's cool. And then you put new bait on and you play that game again. And you'll be amazed, like sort of over time, what can happen. But yeah, good to hear. Just keep going. I think you'll find that the consistency is good. By the way, just I don't know if you're aware of this. Like for those of you that are posting a little bit, when you send a connection request to somebody, and actually particularly on the second message, when the thanks for connecting and there's engagement, LinkedIn will show them your posts for a couple of weeks. My understanding is that's what the algorithm is doing at the moment, right? I know it changes all the time. So the fact that you're posting, and then you're building your network with the right people, you actually get that double bonus where they're actually seeing your stuff in the post in their feed. So again, it's a little bit of top of mind, and that helps. You know, if they don't engage, then obviously after a couple of weeks, those posts will drop out of their feed. But you know, if you at least are sending out those connection requests daily and you're getting people connecting daily, you're getting people seeing your content, which is what you want. So it's an additional touch point or 2 or 3 that you're getting. And you know, typically they say somewhere between 7 and 12. I think I saw a Google thing the other day. They say 13 touch points. Who knows? Suck your thumb, but a range. Maybe 7 to 13 probably sounds about right. So a lot of additional touch points, a lot of follow up really does help with people. And so yeah, just keep at it. You'll be amazed at who sees what and when they appear. So something that I found, because I've been quite erratic with it, is every now and again I'll do an event. So I might go for a year and do nothing, and then I'll do something. And when I look at the people who registered and the people that speak to me after that, again, it's amazing how people will tell me, oh, I wasn't ready 3 years ago when we connected, I'm ready now. And then we have a conversation and they turn into clients. So yeah, it's a long-term game, but the DMs is a really nice way to shorten the sales cycle. That's what keeps things going. While it is building long-term, there is the low-hanging fruit, right? So you remember that sort of 3 to 5%, 1 to 3 to 5% of people that are looking now. There's always somebody buying what you're selling. So not the majority of people, but there's always somebody buying. And so if we are a little bit more intelligent about how we choose the people that we speak to, because now we've all got good profiles, then we do that outreach. When people get to our profiles, we're really just stacking the deck in our favor to get them to hopefully be in that space. And again, if they're not, we just keep showing up, and maybe next month they are. That's just how it happens. So
the
right.
one guy, just it's three meetings that I had from LinkedIn instead of one. I totally forgot about the other two. But the one guy, he messaged me, I think he messaged me like 2 years ago, and then he did a pitch for the meeting, and now he's like messaged me again to say that let's talk about it. And this is virtual CFO work, not even the accountant retainer work, so it's potentially a bigger client.
Yeah, that's what happens. So it's like just keep doing it. It's like get about it and just do it. Like, that's the schedule. That's what I got to do. Just do it. All right, good stuff. Joanne, tell us what's happening in your world.
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster. Okay, well, tell us about your ups and downs.
To start off, I've gone for, I post every day. I post my daily joke with a little bit of a jargon with it, and I get there. I've gone, when we first started this LinkedIn profile thing over a year ago or so, I had about 50 connects. Today I have 221.
Okay.
Of which 10 were just from today.
Well done. Good on you.
So I am definitely growing my, thank you. I'm definitely growing my presence. My jokes have on average about 200 views. Not impressions, but a lot of people are seeing them. A lot of people comment on them. I've got one guy who contacted me and said, please, can you send me your joke? I don't want to miss it. Send it to me every day. And he doesn't just get the joke. He gets the bookkeeping spiel along with it. So, but I do find sometimes it's interrupting my work. I'm like, I'm trying to work. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to send, because I believe that, a quick response is a good thing. So I've got LinkedIn on my phone, and then I've got messages saved in WhatsApp, which I can then just immediately connect or send I've got a couple of messages that I've designed and sent out. So yes, nothing. I've got about 3 people sitting on the fence that are looking at taking up QuickBook subscriptions. But nothing firm yet, but definitely conversations are being had. My presence is being grown, and yeah, a lot of time it's been fun. But as I say, it's had some days you sit there, and I must say thank you to Pranita, who sent me the Salesforce. So I've got 2 months of that, and then I find because I've put the number of how long people have been at self-employed or new business owner or something like that. And I've been getting into some people that are like 2-3 months into their new business venture, and I'm just contacting with them and helping them and getting through. So yes, it's been great. And yeah, I'm looking to see what the next month brings.
So tell me, what's your activity like? Like, are you being relatively consistent with sending out the connection requests?
Yes. I send, well, at the beginning I was recording exactly how many I sent, and it was just sending my anxiety through the roof. So I don't record it anymore, but I
Yeah.
can check. It's generally about 20. Sometimes it's a little bit more. So I definitely am sending out connections. And yeah, I mean, I'm getting connection, people connecting. I found that I don't send a message with the connect request. I go through and I select my people on who I'm going to send to on Salesforce, and then send them a blank message, because curiosity is a wonderful thing. And if I put there, I'm a bookkeeper looking for your service, looking to help you or interest you in QuickBooks, and people are immediately just dismissing me. But when they just get a connection request and they then go and look at my profile, and often I found people are looking at my profile and then connecting, and then we start a conversation. So that is what I've been doing. So yes, it's been great fun.
All right. So what? So once they connect with you, I assume you're sending the thanks for connecting message.
Yes, I am.
Are you doing anything after that?
A couple of people have come back to me, and I do follow on with that. And I've just been thinking I must actually go back, and those people that I have like 2 weeks ago sent just the follow up, and they haven't engaged further for me to engage. But some of the people, we've had nice backwards and forwards conversations. Some people have just said, after reading my thank you, that they're not interested, they have a system in place. So then I say, oh, that's great, but I'm still get their network to connect with. So yeah. So I am doing that. So I must go back and do some
All
of the
right, but that's good. I mean, that means you're ticking along. Just keep doing what you're doing.
yeah.
I'm glad you're getting your connections out. The easiest way not to have anxiety, by the way, particularly if you've got Sales Navigator now, is just to build your lists in Sales Navigator. So what I do is I just build my lists daily, and I know exactly how many are on there. And I'm using the automation tool for a lot of it. So if I'm going to send 100 connection requests, or I can send 200 a week, so I send 40 a day. So I build a list of 40 a day. And there's exactly 40 on my list, and in the morning when I wake up, literally first thing I do is I get the automation tool to start sending the automations, and I know it's done. And then the follow up is done manually. So that's a way to reduce anxiety, is just know exactly, because you build lists.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you about it. One of my goals today of just getting everybody's take on where they're at is like, what do I do with you next? What's going to be the best to help you guys get to the next level? So let's see. But okay, you just keep doing what you're doing. Seems like it's working for now. All right.
Thanks.
Okay, perfect.
Only with your help. Thank you.
All good. Mel, what's happening in your world?
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure
Just
to be with you.
introduce yourself, because like you're the only one from the other group that came
I'm
today.
the only new face.
Yeah.
Was a pleasure. I take it Pranita is in financial planner, and Delwyn is bookkeeping. So I got that. Am I on the right track?
You are. We'll get everybody else to introduce themselves when
Okay.
they come on from now on.
Thank you. So you did a good job. I could see what you were doing and where you're at. So I wear quite a few hats. If you look at my LinkedIn profile, James has done an amazing job in helping me. So I'm very targeted in my LinkedIn profile. My PhD is in how to get a better sleep naturally. So that's very specifically targeted, but I have a counseling and coaching practice in the East London. I'm based in East London. But I obviously have clients literally all over the world, but obviously very proud South African. And as an optimal performance coach, my target market is specifically high performance and professional athletes. So I love working with athletes because they know what they want and they're willing to sacrifice in order and be disciplined and committed to what they're wanting to achieve. And obviously in counseling, it's quite broad, but the TMP behind my name is I'm a traditional medicine practitioner. So I use natural spaces. I don't throw the bones, but I use natural herbs and plants, etc., to support people to live their optimal health space. So if you only look at my LinkedIn profile, what you're going to see is talking about sleep, and that is my LinkedIn profile is very much thanks to James, who obviously did an amazing job. And I've loved the journey of working with James. I'm sure you all would agree what an amazing job he does. And I'm so grateful, you know, because before I didn't really use LinkedIn as the tool. And just applying what James has taught us week on week, I've been able to change that. And I think for me, it was very much a mindset thing. And then implementing what James and applying what he's taught us week on week, I've certainly found a veritable pool out there who could connect with. So yeah, it's certainly worked. And getting the brand out there. But my life has been a bit hectic because of another hat that I wear in terms of traveling and in terms of serving the community. So I have to always be honest and say, James, I've not been as faithful and consistent in terms of committed. But after March, from the 1st of April, my traveling is going to be a little bit less. So then I'm going to be consistently positioning myself to maximize my LinkedIn profile after the 1st of April. So that's me.
All right, good stuff. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. Watch this space. All right, Christelle.
Hello. Hi, everybody. It's nice to see you all again. And Melanie, nice to meet you. So I'm a virtual assistant for your benefit. I can help you with anything. So
clearly, I taught her nothing about positioning.
No, but I must say I've been quite successful with my LinkedIn. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. I've experienced a bit of everything. So I send my messages out like you've taught us. I also do the message connect without the message, like Dalvin has done, and I get exactly the same response. People are intrigued. They want to know, okay, who's this person, and they start digging, which is great, you know. So I've had people connect with me. I've had meetings. Some people, they're not ready yet. They've said they need to. I need to give them about 2 or 3 months just so they can get themselves in the right space so they can approach me again. But I've got them on my radar, and now I've got some clients from the UK. So, but that was so it's all working. I'm happy. My stuff is mostly content driven, so they're seeing my thing on all the platforms that I and the groups that I post to. But LinkedIn is the strongest of all the spaces that I'm on. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Yes. So I've taken notes of everything that you've mentioned from the beginning of this call. There's a lot that I'm going to implement because now the creative juices are going.
Okay, good stuff. So how's the consistency going? Like I know you're busy with other stuff. Are you able to consistently send out your messages?
Yes and no. So there's some weeks I can do it every day. That's perfectly fine. And then some weeks there's a day or two that I don't send as many messages. On average, I do send about 10 to 20 messages to clients, you know. And I find that when I do anything from 4 to 6 in the morning, that's when I look at my social media and my LinkedIn and all of that, and that's when I start sending messages because it's the only time I have.
That's fine.
And then very late at night, I've got my time that I've set aside for my business. So yeah, because I am dealing with all my clients during the day. So, or when I have a gap, then I attend to things like that, you know. So, yeah, I could improve. I must say, I agree. I could improve with some more messaging, but it's not been 100% consistent. It started off strong and then it went a little bit downhill, and now it's picking up again. So,
All right. Okay. No, all good. But sounds like you're on the right track.
yes.
There's enough going on that it's making a difference and things are moving
Mm.
forward. So that's excellent. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much. Marion, how's it?
A mixed bag. I Yeah, I think I've my life
Before
got full of all
before
sorts of
you
stuff.
before you
Hmm?
mix the bag for Mel's benefit, because I suspect the two of
Uh,
you might be quite good connections. Just to know what you do.
okay, I'm an emotional freedom techniques practitioner, and I market myself as a transformation mindset coach, um, working with women who are looking. Well, I don't use the word in my marketing, but basically they're feeling stuck because they're doing the work and they're not moving forward. To deal with self-doubt and emotional baggage. That's usually the underlying problem.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of LinkedIn, yeah, I don't quite know what happened to time, but I've had a lot of other things happening, and I haven't had like blocks of time to give to sorting out how to use Sales Navigator. So I've been trying to focus on that in the last 2 weeks, and struggled to make it work for me. The only thing that it has been helpful with is finding other finding people who do much the same work as I'm doing. And I've been building up a list and looking at their profiles to see how and the things that they post, to see the languaging that they're using, to try and refine and just look for keywords and stuff that maybe that would maybe get me, attract people to my stuff. But I haven't actually been able to do much posting. I did, what I've done is where people have contacted me or even gone and looked at people who've followed me or even just looked at my profile and not connected at all. I've tried to make contact with them and with mixed results. So I had a few conversations, got one call booked for later this week. But yeah, nothing specific actually happening. But I need to get into posting posting consistently, because I lost that plot along the way.
Okay. You need to do the outreach consistently as well. Quick
Yeah,
question. Just maybe by a show of hands, how many of you have got Sales Navigator at the moment? Yeah. Only 2 of you. Okay. Are the rest of you planning to try it?
I'm not seeing any benefit from it as yet.
Or are you using it?
I'm using it but I'm struggling to get searches that give me results that I can use.
Okay.
I'm finding like people doing the same stuff as me, but I'm not finding people who I think would be they're not going to be my clients.
Okay.
So I'm not finding people that are potential clients. So all I'm hoping that maybe I can access, once I've built up a list, I'll go through it and look at their contacts and maybe see. But it's difficult working in the mindset space because it's hard to identify people.
Yeah, you gotta fish a little bit more than most. So you're gonna have to make some assumptions, and then just cast the net out there. All right, I'll come back to that in a minute. I saw Nontobeko had her hand up. Let's chat to her. she might have something to add to this. And then it's here we go. Hello.
Hi, James. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clearly.
Okay. No. It was a delayed response to show of hands.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, because I struggled. I
Well.
was looking for where's my hand? Where's my hand? And because I think, yeah. Oh, okay. Because my video was off. You see. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm one of those who took advantage of the offer, Pranita's offer.
Okay.
And
So maybe what we should do then is maybe I should do you guys a Sales Navigator tutorial. So we do a session on that, so that you guys can learn how to use that thing properly, because it's a beast. It's a serious beast. And then we can sort of refer back to some of those previous lessons we did and dig into it, because you can build lists and do all sorts of cool things on it, which you may or may not be aware of, because you
I've been able to save a
Yeah,
list,
I've gone back to that tutorial a
absolutely,
couple of times. Mm.
but
okay.
yeah, not been able to save it away from LinkedIn or
Okay.
Sales Navigator.
So what we'll do, okay, I think there's two things so far. Andrea, I'll come to you in a bit. So I'm not ignoring you, but it's like seeming to be fairly obvious. Maybe I think where we can get quite a lot of traction would be two things. Maybe we do some stuff on Sales Navigator, so we can get you guys thinking about that. And also, when we do the Sales Nav, because now you guys have played a little bit, right? So now you have proper experience. It's not like before where I was just sitting here like telling you stuff. You guys have gone away and you've tried stuff. Like Marion, she's banging her head a little bit. Now when we talk, you can sort of bring that experience to, and some of you that have been successful can show that as well. So then we can get into a real nice learning and sort of transferring of knowledge. So I think that'll be useful. And then it might be useful for me to teach you guys some basic automation. So for those of you that don't care and you're sending blank requests, you might as well automate the crap out of that. It's like, click the damn button and let it send for you every day. There's no issue with it. I mean, as you know, I gave you the pros and cons of whether you should or shouldn't do that. I don't have a big problem with no message, but then you've got to be stronger on your follow-up. So we'll get into that. But I think maybe if we do those two things, what that will do is it'll help you guys maybe with a little bit more confidence in terms of finding the right people and being able to build those lists. And then I'll talk to you a bit about some of the automation tools, and then we can get you into using that, so that at least there's a little bit of a ability for you to be consistent, right? Because if there's anything we've heard today, it's inconsistency with all of us to some degree, and that's just because you don't have a system. If I did not automate, I would not send 40 connection requests a day. I'll tell you that for nothing. What I will also tell you is there's not a day that goes by that I do not send them. Never, ever. It doesn't matter how busy I am. Every single day I send 40 connection requests because I can never get back what I lost. Right. So for me, that's the golden rule, is just keep sending. So every day my network is growing, whether I get to follow up. And sometimes I'll go a week without follow up. Is what it is. But at least they're in there. So that in many ways is the most important thing, because you guys have all done the groundwork now. Now you need to now you must put people into the funnel, which starts off with them seeing your profile and just getting that awareness. And then for those of you that want to do content, etc., that's great. And for those of you that don't, just keep doing the DMs. There's always that 1 to 3, 1 to 5% that'll reach out. And you should be getting those. If you are consistent with that outreach, you'll find that you will get your meetings. Also, when you guys are a bit more consistent, so let's just get through this. I will teach you how to game the system to go from 100 to 200 a week. Okay, it's a little bit of a process, but we can do that because you guys have done the hard work already. You've done the profile, but it's not a big step. I'll get you all from 100 to 200, and then you can double it. So now you double it and you do automation. Now at least stuff is going out and things are happening. That's where you want to be. That's going to help you guys tremendously. So I think from what we said so far, that seems to be the next logical thing to to help you guys just to get to the next level. Because if you can break through that and you continue doing what you're doing, you will get results. It's a numbers game. It has to work. Okay, cool. Andre, it is now your turn. Please, I'll come to you just now. Hang on 1 sec. How's it?
Hi, James. No, well, thank you. Hi, Melanie. Nice meeting. Yeah, for the sake of Melanie, I'm on LinkedIn. What I'm doing is I do EQ brain profiling and development for team leaders and for executives. In that portion of the company, we also link that up to soft skill training. Now, immediately, I've got one problem with that, in that I still don't know. I also wear multiple hats. I still don't know how to position myself on LinkedIn, because as James has correctly pointed out, to make a pick and decide you're going to drive that, but how do I expose the other things on LinkedIn? So that's an open question for me, which I still don't know how to do. My activities have been lagging this past month. I'm driving my connections every day, and I found a shortcut. I'm crooking a bit, so I've got somebody that's actually logging into my LinkedIn profile and just doing the connections for me, and I've given her the exact profile of whom I'm looking for, and I've got a database that I'm working for, and she's just saying, please connect, and it works. So that part is working quite well for me. I've also, on the EQ side, been working on a strategy on how to post and newsletters and that kind of stuff. And what I want to do is to have a base post that says what is EQ all about, and then have posts running every second week that actually sits on top of the base and refers to that base, and almost like build a storyboard around EQ and what it is and what you can do, and the wonderful world of EQ that opens up once people start to understand it. So I'm trying to create this curiosity from people to say, you know what, what's next week? I'm going to tell you some more. And what's next week? I'm going to tell you more. And I'm hoping that I'm going to get a better engagement than just running, you know, single post on single subjects type of thing. James, you're more than welcome to tell me if you think it's going to work or not.
So if I were you, I'd create a LinkedIn newsletter. So your first newsletter. So on LinkedIn, to create a newsletter is really simple. It's like writing an article. You write an article, LinkedIn says, do you want this to be a newsletter, yes or no? You say yes, then it's a newsletter, right? What happens with a newsletter is it goes out, LinkedIn will email every single person who is subscribed to that. So like it's 100% deliverability, right? They'll know. Also, if you do that, anybody can subscribe or find your newsletter at any time, and they can go back and see every single edition. It's not like the thing you email is like, I can't find it. No, if you've emailed 733 editions, they can go back and start at number 1. So number 1 will be the what is EQ that you had spoken about. And also when people ask you, say, hey, yeah, I read about it in newsletter number 16. Here's the link.
Yes.
So I would do that. I mean, I'd still do the posting, but like if you did those two together. So what's cool about a newsletter is that the first time you do it, only the first time, LinkedIn will message your entire database of connections, your first level connections, and say, listen, Andre's just published this newsletter. Do you want to subscribe? After that, it's just normal. People find you, or you let people know. But also, if you have a newsletter, it's kind of cool because part of your follow-up message, you know, you always need to know what am I going to say. Hey, I've got this newsletter. I thought you might be interested. Do you want to check it out? Here it is. And like now it's a link, it's a connection. If they look at it, then there's something that's of interest. They may come back to you, and then they start a conversation. So I'd probably look at doing something like that. So yeah, so obviously your connections are ticking along, which is what you want. Your next step is to kind of work out what's next. The short answer, the easiest answer to your question is if you wear multiple hats, put it in your experience section. Create a different experience for it. So you can either create a new experience, in which case you need to create a new company, or you can have it in your same experience where you just pick a different date, because LinkedIn terms that a promotion. So if you just say from this date I started this new thing, and you get another 2,000 characters for each one. So even in the same company, you could have 3 different things. You'd have had 1, had 2, had 3, and then there's a description for each one of those separately. But the main one that you're driving is always the first one. That's typically the way to fix that problem.
Good. And should I use a post to drive to the newsletters, or
Sure, yeah, you drive anything to the newsletter. The more people you get in your newsletter, the better, because every time you publish it, LinkedIn sends it.
Okay.
All your subscribers get it in their inbox.
Good. Thanks.
So yeah, I definitely do that. So I mean, you don't control it. It's obviously it's a little bit different to an opt-in newsletter, but it's just easier. And if you're on the platform and you're using it, it's like a no-brainer.
Thanks.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, James.
Yeah.
Another simple way that we can help each other is to just repost each other's posts, because that just gets it out quicker to other people.
So that's actually a good idea, and maybe we should do that. This comes from someone who's just started posting and needs some engagement. For what it's worth, I just use LinkedIn's native option. So I post every day at 9 o'clock exactly on the dot, because I use LinkedIn scheduler. So I just go in the night before, put it in, and I know it's going out at 9. So typically what you should be doing, but like, I don't know, I can't get this right either because my day is a bit messy. You should technically, for about 15-20 minutes before you post, go and engage on other people's posts, and then obviously try to pick up what's going on with people that are responding to your posts. So that's definitely something that you want to do. Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought that was for me. Yeah. So that's a really good idea. So maybe what we should do is all kind of work out when we're going to post, and then everybody goes for 10 or 15 minutes, or at least in the day. Because remember the important thing with posting, right? So maybe we come up with a schedule. So it's like every 5 minutes someone posts. Right? And if there's 5 of us, well, that's a 25-minute spell, and then everybody's going to go into the other posts. Because when you read somebody's post, like LinkedIn takes a lot of stuff into account. So the first thing is hover. I call it hover time. How long are you on the post? Do you click anything? Do you click the see more button? Do you like it? All of that stuff matters, right? So I'll work out a little sequence of what we should do there, and then maybe that's what we do. And so maybe for a while we just give each other's posts a little bit of a boost, and I think that you'll find will be quite significant. You know, if you've got 5 or 6 people that are doing that, because that first engagement is what says to LinkedIn, oh, okay, the post is more important, and then they show it to more people. It's weird in terms of, I've posted 3 now. The first one got 330 impressions, the next one got 760, and I don't know, when I looked at this morning, I was quite disappointed. It was like on 33, and it was like, I clearly don't like this one. But I don't know what will happen for the rest of the day. We'll have to see. But that's quite a good idea. I think that can definitely help. And we know each other now, so now we can post sort of intelligently on one another's stuff. So yeah, that is quite a good idea. We definitely do that.
James.
Yes.
So I am like part of like a couple of groups on WhatsApp that I've met, like different business groups along the way, and like so what I do is I like take a link of my post and I just pop it in the WhatsApp. And the whole point of those groups is that to engage with each other's posts. Like you don't have to repost it, but you can just like it, or you can even go read it. So if you even go read it, like that counts as engagement, because like you said, hover time and all of that. And then like I think it's the first 2 hours, right? Where it's most important. So I always just go pop it in there. My stuff I try to post like now because people are getting off work and then they're sitting on LinkedIn at night and they usually only then looking at the post. Most of my engagement comes like overnight, like during the day it's not so much, and at night it just shoots up. So I don't know, people are obviously drinking and reading LinkedIn at night. So
well, it's just busy in the day, and
yeah, busy in the
to do it.
day, 5 a.m. messages, people are obviously catching up with work. Another thing I wanted to ask you, because what I find like I ran out of people to connect to, so I don't know what to do with that.
No, don't be silly.
It's like how many million people on LinkedIn I can't find like enough to connect to, because I'm obviously searching for like very specific keywords, right? So, and obviously not like very big companies like with 50 employees or more. So I've run out of people.
I think what you probably need to do is well, when we do the Sales Navigator stuff, we'll look and see if we can find you some more. But you know, sometimes you kind of do get to a point where there's a saturation. Then you need to pivot a little bit and do something. So it doesn't necessarily mean you got to change your profile, but just like change who you speak to. It's like okay, I can't get to that very specific.
Ran out of all the panel pages in South Africa, so I have to.
So now you just pick something else
people who do titles,
and change the message that, you know, just so that it resonates with them. Yeah, it's just a little pivot. So something you have to do. I mean, for you, accounting is still accounting.
Yeah.
It's just so just pick another market and tweak the messaging. And if you must tweak your profile, so what? You can tweak your profile as often as you want.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Jeez, we've been going forever. Yeah. It's
my turn.
It's your turn. All right, go. Oh, I was having a lot of heart attack. I thought I needed to be off in a few minutes, but I don't. Okay, yes, your turn. Go. Tell us. Tell us.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to also just confirm what Marion was saying. I struggled. I think the first week was, the worst part of my engaging with this. That is after Pranita had sent me an invite and I got into Sales Navigator, and I was just struggling going through that. And then I sent a week later, I think, to her, a communication requesting her assistance, and she sent me some videos, and I went through the videos, but I've still struggled. So I really how we use this. I think it's very important because I think it's a powerful tool, and when you sit with a tool that is powerful, but you're not able to use it, and you have a limited time within which to use it, I think that's a challenge. Interestingly, in my desperation, then I went to the search people. Remember, you encouraged that and you said they accept all the invitations and what have you. And man, I sent, I think, to about 20, and I probably only got 1 or 2 responses.
Really?
It was a disaster. So I changed, and so I think for me it's the last 2 weeks where, even though I have not been consistent because there are things that just keep popping up, that have sent several of these 20-day invites, and I've had, on the occasions I've sent them, I've had a number of responses. I think, in fact, in the last 2 weeks, I think I've gained maybe close to 50 new people on my list, so which for me is very impressive. And I thought I was pleasantly surprised. And now I was stuck with what next? How do I move the conversation? And I put together my message and I sent it. It didn't have a question at the end of it, and a handful of people have come back and had a further conversation. I think, yes, maybe about 5. And I think one then wanted, my WhatsApp, because they wanted to engage, outside of the email and WhatsApp. And then the other one wanted to know if I do workshops and public speaking, and then said, all right, now I've got your name. And so was one of those. Nothing has come, out of this, but at least those 3, I think, for me, kind of were encouraging in terms of, the possibilities coming out of that. And so it's just, I think it's just having, I'm sitting with 10 who have accepted, and I just think about preparing myself to go to that next conversation, and getting them interested, in taking the conversation forward. And but I come again.
We'll help you with that. Don't stress.
Yes, yeah, and but I really felt that it was. I mean, it was. Yeah, I'm glad that you're talking us through how to use this, because we've got just a little bit more than a month. Some of us who took it earlier on, and so it would help to be able to use that meaningfully. I was beginning to panic to say, how do I get to my 500 at least?
Okay.
But yeah, at least now that I'm in the last 100s, I'm hoping you can help me, bridge that. But also the other thing, when I tried to look at how you build the lists, there were references of software, and that one needs to kind of buy. And I thought to myself, okay, now I don't know how I can achieve the list thing post the second month.
Yeah, I'll show you how to do that.
Yeah. Sorry, Melanie, Melanie, whatever. Sorry, if I'm not saying your name correctly. Because you have heard my name. I'm an attorney and notary, conveyancer, and but passionately pursuing corporate governance, and yeah, that's really, yeah. That's why. Sorry about that. I almost forgot. Thanks, James.
If I were you guys, Mel, Marion, and Andre, I would have a meeting, the 3 of you. If not the 3 of you, at least with Melanie. Because I think there's quite a bit of synergy. You guys need to sit and, you guys are all deep. This is too quick. I suggest you guys sit together and chat. I think Mel and Andre could be quite interesting, actually. I think you might have a bit more in common than was just evident from this brief interaction. So I would certainly do that. Marion, you should speak to Mel. You guys will have some good stuff in common. I'm not so sure with you and Andre, that might be a bit different, but I would definitely do that. I think you guys will find a lot of benefit in that.
Thank you.
So,
And also, I just asked Praneet about the free sign up, and I'm already using the free version of Sales Navigator just in the last few weeks. Does that preclude me from receiving a gift?
it does. Yeah.
Okay.
So what will happen if you let it lapse is that when you go back, okay, what LinkedIn will do is they'll say to you, all right, we'll give it to you at half price for the next 2 months, but you'll have to still pay. So that's like the second tier. But the problem when it lapses is you lose all of the data you had before.
Yeah,
so it's
I
not
have to
it's not ideal, but
save all of the lists.
yeah, save all the data. So I need to show you guys how to do that. Then that's going to be so. Okay, so hang 10 a second. Let me just see what it looks like. Okay, do you guys want to do next week then? Because like a lot of you have got like short window for. Okay, so hang on. Let me just.
I can't do next week on Wednesday at any rate. Well, I can do it from 4 o'clock, but not from, well, probably about 4:15.
Okay, you might have to catch recording then.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just looking at what's going on here. Yeah. Okay, let me just duplicate this quick.
I'll see if my client can come an hour earlier. Otherwise, I'll do the recording.
Duplicate this. This will be on the 19th. And I'll save this and send this to everybody. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk to your sales navigator, and then let's just get through that, because that sometimes takes a few sessions. But if we get you all into it and actually understanding like how to use it and what some of the cool things are, then you're good. All right, cool. I see Pranita might have a problem. Try. If it's a problem, it's a problem. We'll just record it and stick it up. Is there anything in particular that you guys would like to learn?
Sales Navigator, definitely.
Yeah.
Is
I think that's
is
an
it
excellent starting point.
is
Yeah.
it like is it can you do like an account filter and then search for people like that, or is that just a waste of time? Because I've done that, but I'm not sure if that's like the most efficient way to search.
Sometimes it is. I'll show you that next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Some you certainly can. But it all just depends on what you're trying to do. So
Yeah.
you can do an account. So account is company, and the leads are the people. So our personal profiles. If you're looking for people in a particular industry, or then it kind of makes a little bit of sense to go company, because once you've identified the companies, you can then look at all of the employees at those companies, and then you can then sort of take it back into the lead filter, and you can use all of the filters that are available to you. So let's say that I'm looking for accountants in construction companies. So I go into the company filter and I type construction, and I get like a whole bunch, right? So I go into the first page and I got my 25, and I say, all right, cool. Show me all the employees that work at these 25 companies. Then what it does is it does exactly that. So it takes me then from the company filter back into the lead filter, shows me all the people, and then I can filter for accountant, and then show me the 20 people or the 13 people or the whatever, and then I found them. So that is quite an effective way, and often it's an effective way when you've kind of exhausted, or you've been doing the other way for quite a long time. It's a way to uncover new people. So there's so many creative ways to use Sales Navigator. It's not just the obvious that you see on the surface. There's a lot of really clever stuff you can do with it. So we'll go into some of that and show you what it looks like. But yeah. All right. Any other questions for today? Or you guys good?
I'm good. I'm using my, I've got access to a client's Sales Navigator, so I'm learning as we're going along. So, so please sign me up for this training, because I'd love to see ways to just make it easier for her and for myself, So,
Yeah, 100%. No, Sales Navigator is very cool, eh? Once you start using it and you go back to LinkedIn, you'll say, no, I can't do this. I want my Sales Navigator back. It's like, yeah, that's the one thing that doesn't lapse. Yeah, Sales Navigator. The things can lapse, but not that. But I'll get a feel for it. I would say Darwin and Pranita uses it anyway aside. The rest of you, I'd say you need it legitimately, because your markets are quite specific. They're a lot harder to find on LinkedIn. It's interesting though, because I think there's quite a nice blend of some of the stuff that you can do on LinkedIn that you can't do on Sales Navigator, oddly enough, and vice versa. But when you're trying to be consistent and you're trying to get a lot of leads and you're trying to create those repeatable systems, Sales Navigator is really good. because you need to keep finding more leads to put into the process. Also, don't forget, I mean, I'm now going to teach you something different, but what we did initially was looking at the one-on-one outreach. That still works quite well. You know, whether you're doing it to select people or you're actually writing a connection message or whatever it is that you're choosing to do. So, you know, when you scale, you definitely lose a bit on the swings, but you gain obviously on the roundabouts. So the ideal is probably to do a bit of both. So the people that you think are really your best clients, you know, do those on the one-on-one, and for everybody else that you're not sure, just stick it into the machine and let the automation take care of it. But we'll get there.
James, just a quick question. I quite often get these requests from people, but LinkedIn grade it out to say I need professional development, or I need this, or my team needs this or that, but you can't see the details. You have to upgrade in LinkedIn. I'm not sure whether it's part of Sales Navigator or it's part of LinkedIn Professional or whatever the case may be. Is it worthwhile pursuing that?
No, LinkedIn Professional is rubbish. It will waste your money.
Okay.
Don't buy it. No, I don't think so. In my opinion, for us, the only thing that's worthwhile is well, they call it LinkedIn Premium.
Premium, yeah.
That's the technical term. No, it's I'm not even sure what it costs now. $600 or $700, and like all it allows you to do is see reviewed your profile and send a handful of in-mails, which most of us will never use anyway. So don't waste your money on that. It really isn't worth it. What you can do, obviously, also this is this recent change that they made is now you can send connection requests with a note with 300 characters, which you currently can't do unless you have some sort of paid version. But honestly, I don't think it's worth the price of admission. I really don't.
Thanks.
So Sales Navigator, yes. So now Sales Navigator is double, but like you get more than double the value. Premium is just
James, I think premium was like 1,200 Rand, so a lot more than that.
no, unless they push the price up. I actually saw somebody buy Sales Navigator the other day, and it was $1.5 grand as opposed to $1,250. I should check my bank account. I paid 1.5 as well. I don't even know, because it's just I just get a surprise. Oh, it's gone up. Right, my bank account balance has gone down. Oh, what's the 6? Oh, right, Sales Navigator. Like one of those. But I didn't actually check it very closely this month. But yeah, they have a good tool, and so they charge a lot of money for it. We pay less though, hey. I had a couple of calls today with folks out in the UK, one in the UK, one in the UAE. So they're paying $100 or £80 for it. So we probably at about 60% of global cost, South Africa. And we still bitching because it's expensive, but everybody else really pay. If you run a recruitment consultancy and you buy the recruiting package, it's called Recruiter, and then there's a lighter package, Recruiter Lite. I think the entry price to that is $9 grand a seat per month. It's like, geez, like LinkedIn. Why don't you just tell people to bend over? It's just like ridiculous. That's a lot of money, eh? Wow. So our little pithy Sales Navigator is that's okay. We can deal with that. So,
Yeah, I'm quite keen to start, but I think once it will help a lot if you have a basis which you're going to give us next week. Then at least you can hit the road running type of thing.
That's why when I'm coaching with people, I tell them not to touch it until I'm ready. So we go through everything that you've gone through, right? So I get you to the point where they've written those first 2 messages. So then it's okay. Now let me show you how to find them, and so now it makes sense, because then you get a full 2 months of legitimate access. Whereas, like as some of you have seen, I don't really know what to do with this thing. We've got it,
Yeah.
but and then you tend to waste quite a bit of it. And if you only got a month, you'll waste the whole month invariably. If you've got 2 months, it takes you a while to get your head around it. So my coaching clients, we don't activate until we absolutely have to. And that's the next step.
Right.
But
Thanks.
but you guys have all done all the other stuff, so you're ready for that now anyway. All right, cool. All right. If you don't have any more questions, then we'll call it a day, and we'll see you same time, same place next week.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
Lovely to meet you all. Take care.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Guys,
All right.
cheers, bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.
All right.